Caraxies, Veigar, and Valyrian the Dread.
Hello Ice and Fire nerds, this is Chris and welcome back to another House of the Dragon video. We will have 17 dragons in House of the Dragon. That's a lot of damn dragons. So let's jump into it, all the known dragons of House Targaryen. Now first of course is likely the most famous, and that is Valyrian the Black Dread. Valyrian the Black Dread was the largest of all known dragons and was said to be large enough to swallow a mammoth whole. The first rider that we know of was of course Aegon the Conqueror, who came over with his sister wives Visenya and Rhaenys to conquer the Seven Kingdoms. After Aegon's death, he would also be ridden by Maegor the Cruel and later on Viserys I Targaryen as well. Valyrian the Black Dread lived over 200 years and died of old age. He was known to be red and black in color and of course was the dragon who forged the Iron Throne. Next, of course, we have Veigar, the second largest dragon at the time, whose dragon lord rider was Visenya Targaryen, the sister of Aegon the Conqueror, and then later on Aemond Targaryen as well. Being ridden by Visenya, Veigar, of course, participated in Aegon's conquest, but later on would be killed in the Dance of the Dragons by Daemon Targaryen and his dragon Caraxies. And third, we have Miraxis. Miraxis was ridden by Rhaenys Targaryen and was known to be silver in color with golden eyes. Miraxis also participated in Aegon's conquest, but was eventually killed in Dorne by a scorpion bolt through the eye, and Rhaenys was never seen again. And next we have Quicksilver. Quicksilver was ridden by Aegon Targaryen, son of Aenys, and later on killed by Valyrian the Black Dread in the battle beneath the God's Eye. Then we have Vermithor, known as the third largest dragon and mate to Silverwing. Vermithor was ridden by Jaehaerys I Targaryen, the Good King or the Old King, and later on Hugh Hammer. Vermithor was known to be bronze in color and would later die in the Dance of the Dragons, like most of these dragons did. As you can see, this is going to be a theme. And next we have Caraxies. You will see a lot of Caraxies in House of the Dragon because he was ridden by the rogue prince Daemon Targaryen. Caraxies was known to be red in color and would also kill the dragon Veigar in the Dance of the Dragons, but he himself was killed when his rider Daemon Targaryen jumped from his back and stabbed Aemond Targaryen through the other eye, as he was known as Aemond One Eye, in the battle over the God's Eye. And next we have a little lesser known of a dragon named Morghul. Now Morghul was supposed to be ridden by Jaehaerys Targaryen, but he was actually never ridden, and Morghul was killed during the riots of King's Landing during the Dance of the Dragons. So this is one of the dragons that was in the Dragon Pit. All the riots in King's Landing started during the Dance of the Dragons because of some asshole priest who sent everybody to the Dragon Pits to kill all these big demons, and a lot of them did die, although they took out a lot of the rioters with them. And next we have Silverwing, ridden by the good Queen Alysanne Targaryen, and later on Ulf the White. Silverwing was the mate of Vermithor and survived the Dance of the Dragons but fled to the Reach, where she remained somewhere wild until her death, which we don't know exactly when that happened. Now remember from previous videos, Silverwing is the dragon who Queen Alysanne flew up to the north when they were meeting the Starks and all that stuff in Winterfell. She also flew to the Wall, but Silverwing would not go beyond the Wall because something was weird there. And next we have the dragon Tessarion, another casualty of the Dance of the Dragons. Tessarion was known to be cobalt blue in color. Tessarion's rider was Daemon Targaryen, and as I mentioned, died in the Dance of the Dragons in battle with Vermithor and another dragon named Sea Smoke. Next we have another lesser known dragon named Shrykos. Shrykos was supposed to be ridden by Jaehaerys Targaryen, son of Aegon II, but he was actually never ridden, and he was another one of the dragons killed in the riots at King's Landing during the Dance of the Dragons. And next we have the dragon Vermax. You've heard this name before as well. With the recently leaked pictures as far as House of the Dragon goes, you will definitely see Vermax in this show. Vermax was ridden by Jaehaerys Valyrian and of course killed in the Dance of the Dragons. Again, this is going to be a theme throughout this entire video. This is where House Targaryen lost all its power because they lost mostly all their dragons. And next we have the dragon Cyrax. Cyrax was known to be yellow in color and was ridden by Rhaenyra Targaryen, and of course, like most of these other dragons we're mentioning, was killed during the riots at King's Landing during the Dance of the Dragons. Next we have a wild dragon called the Cannibal. The Cannibal was never actually ridden by anyone. He was known to actually cannibalize and kill and eat other dragons, which is why he got his name, the Cannibal. And nobody knows what ever happened to him, as he simply disappeared after the Dance of the Dragons. And next we have the dragon Sheepstealer. Sheepstealer was actually a dragon who was actually tamed by a young lady named Nettles. She bribed the dragon with sheep until it got used to her, and she became a dragon rider when they were trying to recruit more dragon riders for the Dance of the Dragons. Sheepstealer and Nettles did survive the Dance of the Dragons, but disappeared, and their fate is ultimately unknown. And next we have the dragon called Grey Ghost. Grey Ghost was another dragon who was never ridden, and was killed and eaten by Sunfire during the Dance of the Dragons. I guess they're all cannibals to some degree. And next we have the dragon called Morning. Morning was ridden by Rhaena Targaryen and was the offspring of the dragon Cyrax. Unlike most, Morning survived the Dance of the Dragons, but died soon thereafter. And next we have the dragon Stormcloud. Now Stormcloud was also ridden during the Dance of the Dragons by Aegon Targaryen, known as Aegon the Younger, but unfortunately he was ridden only once and died hours later due to his wounds during the Dance of the Dragons. As you can see here, this is all just a sad story. This is a sad fucking story. And next we have the dragon Meleys. Now Meleys was ridden by Rhaenys Targaryen, daughter of Aemon Targaryen. Now Meleys was known to be red in color and died during the Dance of the Dragons like most of the other ones when she was killed by Veigar and Sunfire in battle. And the last few here we have Moondancer. Moondancer was ridden by Baela Targaryen, and of course, as the theme continues here, was killed by Sunfire during the Dance of the Dragons. Next we have the dragon Arax. Now Arax was actually ridden by Lucerys Valyrian, but of course, as most of the others, killed by Veigar during the Dance of the Dragons. And then we have a familiar dragon named Dreamfire. Now Dreamfire was ridden by both Rhaena and Helaena Targaryen, but of course was one of the dragons killed during the riots of King's Landing during the Dance of the Dragons. I feel like I'm repeating myself here a lot. And next we have an older dragon not ridden by a Targaryen or a Valyrian, because there were many other Valyrian houses, named Terrax. And the only thing we really know about Terrax is that he or she was known to be ridden by Genera Valerius, another Valyrian house that were actually dragon lords, probably a lot more powerful than House Targaryen until the doom of Valyria. And finally, we have what's known as the Unnamed Last Dragon, as in Bruce Leroy. This is the last known dragon to survive the Dance of the Dragons, but apparently it was small, deformed, and sickly. It did lay 5 dragon eggs, but unfortunately none of those hatched because the Targaryens had already started to lose their bloodline and their blood magic. At this point, they had been kept in dragon pits and not allowed to roam wild and hunt and continue to grow and be healthy, all that good stuff as well. And they lost their blood bond with the Targaryens, which of course later on, Daenerys Targaryen in Game of Thrones would figure out. And 100 years after the last dragon died would hatch 3 more dragons, otherwise known as Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion. Anyway guys, let me know what you think in the comments below. Do me a huge favor and hit that like button on this video, and please subscribe to the channel. We will be covering all House of the Dragon stuff, and of course, like we did with Game of Thrones, we'll be going live right after the show and doing breakdowns and reviews, all that good stuff as well. And if you do love medieval fantasy and dark fantasy, please pick up a copy of The Crimson Gods, again available to order now. It is on Amazon, it is everywhere books can be found. So feel free to pick that up. I really appreciate the support. Also, a huge shout out to my Patreon supporters and my executive Patreon SmokeScreen producers. I really appreciate the continued support. So thanks again. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.